In this video, I'm going to show you how to fill out the SBA disaster loan application. This is a step-by-step video on how to get a $10,000 grant from the federal government if you're a small business owner, an independent contractor, sole proprietor, 1099, or gig economy worker. Now that's $10,000 that you don't have to pay back. I'm going to go over who qualifies, what the rules are, but most importantly, I'm going to go over the application so you can fill this thing out and hopefully get this money really quickly. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel and you haven't subscribed, do yourself a favor, do us a favor, click on the subscribe button below. My name is Scott Johnson, owner of Mack Media Group and the host of the podcast, The Mack Talks. I'm gonna help you and your business apply for this $10,000 grant. Chase, tell the people what the Mack Talks are.
If you're an entrepreneur, impactful leader, or business owner, the Mack Talks are that vehicle that brings you the stories that you need to hear.
That's right, real stories from real leaders. Check us out every Thursday. Now this grant is a part of the CARES Act that was just signed into law on Friday, March 27th by President Trump, and this is the EIDL loan program. The EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and you can get it through the SBA Small Business Administration. I'll leave a link in the description at the bottom of this video directly to their site, so you can see the exact page that I'm going through. Also, I'm going to put up a link to the CARES Act so you can also read along because I'm going to pull it up on the screen so we can go through the rules. And then I'm going to go over the application. I'm going to walk you through this application step by step. So by the end of this video, you'll be on your way to getting this $10,000 grant. So let's start with the CARES Act. I'm going to pull it up on the screen now. All right. Now this is the CARES Act, and if we're going to scroll down to section 110 with the Emergency EIDL grant, I'm going to go ahead and zip right down to the EIDL grant, and it starts on page 66. You can see it right there. I highlighted some of the major points. The Emergency EIDL grant. EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Now, to qualify for this loan, you have to be a small business with 500 or fewer employees. And you can see right there in section B, it outlines any individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees, or an independent contractor. So if you're a gig employee, you will qualify for this. If you're a 1099, you will qualify for this. If you're a small business owner with 500 or fewer employees, then you would qualify for this grant. They're waiving a lot of the red tape in order to get some of these loans. We can see here, the administrator shall waive any rules related to the personal guarantee on an advance of a loan, not more than $200,000 during the cover period. Now, it also says that you have to be in business for 1 year, but it looks like they're also waiving that. As long as you were in business by January 31st, 2020, then you would qualify. In addition to that, the administrator may basically not look at all of your documents. They're just going to look solely at the credit score. So they're not even requesting the tax documents. Now, here's what we know so far about those tax documents. The website has changed since March 29th, and on March 29th, they were asking for the paper versions of all of these forms and including your tax documents. Now, as of April 7th, when I went through it, there were no tax documents being requested at all when we were going through the loan application. Now, not only are they not asking for your tax documents, they're just going to go off of your credit score, but it's a self-certification process. Look at the verification section here. Verification. I highlighted it for you. Self-certification. They're streamlining and totally eliminating the red tape in order to get access to this money. Now, whether or not they can produce it as fast as they say they will, that's yet to be determined. But according to this, it says it right here. It says, within 3 days after the administrator receives an application from such applicant. That's how fast you should be able to get this money. So, it should be relatively quick with very little red tape and not filling out a whole lot. Because you're gonna see at the end, when we're going through the whole application, it is very easy to fill out and will take you all of about 5 minutes. And the amount you could see right there, the amount of the advance provided under the subsection shall not be more than $10,000. That doesn't mean you can't get a loan greater than $10,000, because you absolutely can, but they're willing to advance you $10,000 immediately. To get the $10,000 grant, this is a repayment section. An applicant shall not be required to repay any amounts of an advance provided under this subsection, even if denied a loan. So even if they deny your loan, according to this, it's saying that you don't have to repay it. So if you get a loan greater than $10,000, that can also possibly be forgiven. Scroll back and we can see what these 5 areas are. A, it's saying providing sick leave to employees who are affected by COVID-19. B, maintaining payroll to retain employees. And C, meeting the increased cost of obtaining materials unavailable from the applicant's original source. So, if costs were increased, that can be counted as a qualifying grant. Making the rent or mortgage payments. So, if you have rent or mortgage payments, those expenses would qualify. And the last one is repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue losses. So, if you meet one or more of these criteria, all of the money that you use for these criteria will be forgiven. So, it is possible that what we just went through took us longer than it will to go through this application to get your small business $10,000. Let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen and walk through it together. It's sba.gov. Right on the homepage of sba.gov, we can see that there's a Learn More button right in the middle. We're going to go ahead and click on it, and it's going to bring us to the Coronavirus Small Business Guidance and Loan Resource page. Now we're going to scroll down that page to the first section that says Coronavirus Funding Options. Below that, you will see a link that says, click here to learn more about available SBA loan and debt relief options. Then you will be brought to a page called Coronavirus Relief Options. Scroll down to the funding options, find the EIDL loan advance, and click the link that says Learn More. Finally, you're going to scroll down to the section of the page that says Eligibility. And at the very bottom of that section, there will be a link that says to apply for a COVID-19 economic injury disaster loan and loan advance. Click here. Click that link, and finally, you will be brought to the economic injury disaster loan application. You have to meet one of these criteria in order to qualify for this loan. For this one, we're going to check off applicant is a business with no more than 500 employees. Now that second one is an applicant is an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees, or as an independent contractor. Those are the 2 main ones. The other ones are different scenarios, but if any of these apply to you, check off that one. Now, if none of them apply to you, that means you're not qualifying for this loan. You're not a small business owner or a 1099 or an independent contractor, but most likely it's going to be one of those top 2. We're going to scroll down. Now, this is the section to make sure that you can actually apply for this loan. Applicant is not engaged in any illegal activity. You're going to end up checking off all of these boxes if you qualify. If you don't qualify, you can see it at the very bottom. The Continue button will turn a darker color so you can go to the next page. So you're clicking on all of these check boxes, assuming they're all true for you. We're going to go ahead and click Continue and go to the next page. The business legal name, we can put this company. You want to put whatever Inc. or LLC, whatever applies to you and your business. Trade name would just be this company. EIN, put in the EIN, just put it all in there, and then we can choose the business type. I'll choose S Corp. Is this applicant a nonprofit? No. Is this applicant a franchise? I'm going to choose no. Gross revenues. Put your gross revenues for the 12 months prior to January 31st of 2020. So, $100,000. Cost of goods sold, if you have cost of goods sold. Otherwise, just put 0. If you're a small business owner that rents properties on Airbnb, Booking.com, or long-term rentals, then you could put lost rents due to the disaster. I'm going to put a 0 for this walkthrough. And nonprofit cost of operation. That's optional. Combined annual operating expenses for the faith-based entity. I'm just going to skip that, and you don't need any of that information. Primary business address. 123, this street, pick a state. I'll pick Connecticut because we have the highest taxes in the world and it's where I'm at. And we'll put 06804. Then put the date of the business established. So January 1st, 2000. If you're still the same owner, January 1st, 2000. Obviously, put whatever the date your business started. If there was an ownership change, put the date you were the owner. If it hasn't changed, you've owned the business from the beginning, then just put the same date. Business activity. You can put whatever is relevant to your particular business. The number of employees would include yourself if you're a W-2 employee. So if you're paying yourself as a W-2, then you're considered an employee. If that's the case, then add one for yourself. Otherwise, put 0. If you don't have any employees and you're a sole proprietor, then you would just put 0 here. Let's go ahead and click on next and go to the next page. Is your business owned by a business entity? No. Then put all of your basic information here. If you have additional owners, go ahead and add additional owner. I'm just going to choose next. Now, these pages are additional information. Just go ahead and read the questions and check off what applies to you. If you haven't done any of these, it's no. I'm going to scroll down. If anyone assisted you in completing this application, put this information. Do not put my information. I did not assist you in this application. We're going to scroll down a little bit further. Would I like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000? Check off, hells yes. Put your banking information, whatever bank that you bank at, your account number, there we go, and the routing number. I'm just going to type it in until it goes green there. Scroll down, and under penalty of perjury, check that off. Then click next, and you can see a summary of everything that you filled out. Click the box that you're not a robot, and then click submit. I'm not going to click submit because this is obviously a fictitious application, but that is the quick and easy way to fill this thing out. Now, on the next page, you're going to go get a confirmation number. Print it out as a PDF, keep it on your computer, and keep it with you so you have a record that you filled it out. If you want to get in contact with the SBA, good luck with that. It's been really, really difficult. In fact, if you call them and actually get somebody on the phone, let me know in the comments below how you were able to do that. There were 350 people in the phone queue when I called this morning. After about 30 or 40 minutes, I got disconnected. I tried it 2 or 3 more times and the same thing kept happening. It was really, really frustrating. I kept trying to call back and you get a frontline staff member who puts you into another phone queue for their tier 2 once you tell them that you have an application and you're just trying to follow up on it. So it's a complete disaster trying to follow up with this information. But hopefully the money gets distributed a little bit quicker and you can move on with your life and hopefully keep your business afloat. Like many of you, my business has been impacted by coronavirus, and I could definitely use the extra 10 grand to help cover some of these losses. In fact, some of our clients are senior living homes, medical groups, and doctor's office, which are particularly at-risk groups in terms of likelihood of contracting the disease. They've had to focus 100% of their resources on combating the virus, and marketing is probably one of the last things on their minds at this moment. As a result, a significant portion of our business is particularly vulnerable during this time. So I've sought out ways to help supplement my business while we wait for all of this to end. And while we're doing so, I'm hoping to document some of this process so you, the viewer, can benefit. I am the owner and founder of Mack Media Group, a full-service digital marketing agency located here in Fairfield County, Connecticut, just outside of New York City. We specialize in website and mobile application design, video production, SEO, PPC, and social media marketing. We also have a podcast about business and entrepreneurship called the Mack Talks, which I am the host of, where we cover business news topics and have had on incredible guests like Kevin O'Leary, AJ Vaynerchuk, Evan Hafer, and Jack Maxwell, who help give us and our audience insight into the life of an entrepreneur, business owner, or community leader. In the description below, I will leave links to our podcast and digital marketing agency website. So if you guys want to check out any of our other work, you can do that. When our country and economy was first struck by COVID-19 and I saw all of these local and small businesses start to close their doors, I knew I had to do something to help. So I decided to create a video series on social media called the COVID-19 Small Business Survival Guide to help other small businesses like mine survive and thrive during the coronavirus pandemic. In the description below, I will leave a link to our LinkedIn group, the COVID-19 Small Business Survival Guide. Guide, where you can find helpful information, tips, and tricks for small business owners to get through this pandemic together. The goal is to build a communal resource covering topics like the ones we covered in this video. Some of the topics include 4 categories of payments your business should defer during the COVID-19 crisis, 6 ways to protect your business during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 5 things you need to know about the SBA's COVID-19 Disaster Relief Program. Our members are also encouraged to post videos, articles, and blog posts that might help other small business owners save time, money, and resources while their business is under pressure from this virus. We will also be leaving marketing tips in this group, since we are a digital marketing agency, suggesting ways of improving and expanding your digital footprint during the coronavirus pandemic. We will be giving you a checklist for posting on social media, 4 ways to boost your online presence during the COVID-19 crisis, and more. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you have any questions about going through this application or going through the process, go ahead and leave those comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom. Thank you.